to alternatives too small. So today I am introducing a brand new segment to my channel. The segment is going to be book reviews. So each month for the next year, I will review one book each month. So for the month of January, I picked one of my favorite authors, who is the critically acclaimed Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And the title of the book I will be reviewing is Dear Ijeawele, a Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. You know, like cocktails, books, my favorite thing. So, okay, so to give you a bit of a backstory, is that it's actually an adaptation of a personal letter that Chimamanda had written to her friend. So, a childhood friend yakhe, you meet expecting a child, and then buza Chimamanda, but how do you raise a girl to be a feminist? So then this letter, which was in the book, was Chimamanda's response to her friend. So why did I pick up the book? Well, you know, if feminism, even just as a term, like just the term feminism, I feel here I got feminism. Yeah, if feminism, just as a term, it's very confusing, and I think there are just so many interpretations of what it means to be a feminist, and there's obviously all these negative connotations to the term. Fike kusithiwa ba ifeminist ngumntu ongawafuni amadoda ucapukela amadoda ntoni. So I was like, you know what, if I can read a book this small about a term so complex and it can help me better understand feminism, then why not? Because I believe I'm a young feminist in progress. Okay, so uqala njani uChimamanda kule ncwadi? Ndiye ndayibookmarka, noba ndiyibambe noba ndiyibeke ndingulowo. Ndiye ndayibookmarka. She says that pamba ukwazi uzibiza a feminist or kanye uthi wena uyiyo, you need a premise, right? And she says your feminist premise should be I matter. I matter equally, not if only, not as long as. I matter equally, full stop, right? So that's your premise. And then she says that the second tool, ngumbuzo, oti, can you reverse X and get the same result? She then gives an example. You would say, Masiti, a husband cheated on his wife. If you were to reverse the role, who cheated on the husband, would you be able to still say, I'm you know? If so, then I can. You understand? And then in this book, she talks about like a lot of things, but what I really appreciate in Ngale is how, I mean, Chimamanda is a brilliant writer, you know, and she's a scholar. And I think a lot of people come tetange feminism, even now, yeah, in previous books and in her speeches, it's always like leaning more to the academic side. But what I like about this book is that, you know, she wrote very simply, it's uncomplicated, which then makes the text more accessible. Because is that feminism classes, you know, oftentimes people like to use like an academic tone even. Intersectionality, heteronormative, all these big words, and obviously there's nothing wrong with having a large vocab, honey, but my issue is that when important conversations are had in that academic tone, it excludes a lot of people from important conversations, because how are you going to be engaged in a conversation when you don't even understand a lot of the terms being used, right? So this book, very simplified, and I like that she uses everyday examples. She's not preachy, you really do get the sense that, you know, this book was actually a letter, you know, yomntu othandayo, like, I don't know, it's very it feels like a conversation with like maybe your godmother or something, right? So she talks about everything that you need to consider, from sex, gender roles, marriage, likability, you know, and kuzo zonke zazinto in all the 15 suggestions. I like how she breaks it down so beautifully. Umzekelo that I can give you is when she discusses gender roles, right? And as a lot of us know, gender roles sizfunda, like literally even before we're born, right? Because you come into the world, and if you are either a boy or a girl, abazali bakho, even before you even learn to say mama, tata, like the colors they choose for your clothing is kind of leaning towards a certain gender. Don't. Do you get what I mean? And then Apa, she says, with household duties, right? If umdu is sweeping the floor, right? That's a very simple example, okay? A child is sweeping the floor, you sweep her wrong. Reprimanda when you be like, you like a girl, like a girl. Like, why are you like attaching each gender to like a role, right? When you could have easily said, in order to sweep the floor properly, goba. Do you get what I mean? And then she talks about like cooking, right? That's also something that's very gendered. But she's like, cooking is a skill. It's a skill of survival. Whether you are a boy or a girl, a woman or a man, that's something you should be able to do just to survive, you know. There are many examples I can think of, but obviously I don't want to give it away for Wena, especially because this is such a thin book. Like, I could read it for you and it wouldn't be that long of a video. I would recommend that you buy this book if you haven't already. As I said, it's a small book, so you will finish it in one sitting. Like, even if you're not someone who likes to read, or if you are someone who's busy and who doesn't have the time to read, you could finish this in literally a day, and I'm not even joking. Secondly, it's quite affordable. I got my copy for 130 at Bargain Books, but I also checked online. Take a Lot has it for 100 Rand. So it's very like affordable as well. And what else did I want to say about the book, guys? And yes, in money, it simplifies a very complex subject matter. And what it did for me is it empowered me, and it almost like gave me the language to be able to express certain things that I've always like kind of felt or understood, or values that I've had kakade but dingakwazi express. Growing up, not even growing up, even now as an adult, I'm very lazy. You know what I mean? I don't like cooking. I don't like I don't like cleaner. Why? And when I was growing up, my family members, not in a bad way, but I would be told that and they would say things such as intombazana ayilali emini, and that would be like 11 a.m. intombazana vuka ayilali emini, you know. And those kind of things, like, you internalize it a lot, and it takes a lot to unlearn, right? So for me, the book empowered me. And I think, just as you know, as I said, I'm a young feminist in progress. This is a very simple, accessible text and book to introduce you to feminism, and then you move forward from here, understanding, I guess, the core principles and stuff. I mean, why wouldn't you want to read something as a vula ingqondo, especially as a woman? Because sometimes sometimes we internalize expectations. It's a society, you feel like either you're not a woman enough, or and there's a lot of misunderstanding. Like, a woman will say, and you're a feminist now because now I believe and if you submit and that could actually also be a feminist choice, because essentially what it's about is like equal, and as she said, you matter. So that's what you want, then I mean, baleka nayo, do you know what I mean? So yes, that is the first book for the series. If you have not read it, please, I really would recommend that you read it. I might be a little bit biased because Chimamanda is one of my favorite writers. She's literally a brilliant writer. But even if you're being a favorite writer, this is definitely a book I would recommend. And I wouldn't just recommend it to women. Like no ngumfana, ngutata, whatever. Like this is a book that, you know, could open up your eyes a bit more and you could learn something from it. Thank you so much to my subscribers, and if you're watching for the first time, I really do hope that you enjoyed the video and that, you know, you subscribe. Anyway, ndibulela kakhulu guys, ndibulela nyani, and I will see you on my next video. For this segment, I will see you in February, but we channel hopefully very soon. Thank you.